Hey YouTubers, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Sai, and on this channel I talk about investing for beginners like myself, as well as a little bit of tech and business ideas. So let's get straight into today's video. Do you remember that time, before COVID, where there was this other thing that everybody was talking about? It was a few years back, around about this time in 2017, when everyone was going crazy about one thing, and that one thing was Bitcoin. Because this was also the time when Bitcoin was rallying up to that $20,000 mark. Now back then, I was lacking financial knowledge that I have now gained today from my own research. However, after Bitcoin crashed rapidly down to 7K, I decided that it's a good time to actually jump onto the bandwagon, with the thought that it will definitely be bouncing back up to that 20K mark. And I started researching more into the cryptocurrencies. So I started investing very lightly into cryptocurrencies. And then by doing some short day trades on some various altcoins, I actually started to make a little bit of money. However, just like how I feel with the stock market, the cryptocurrency market is quite similar, because day trading requires a lot of time and effort in order to do it properly, and also in order to gain significant profits. But I still felt that there is value in Bitcoin and some of the other cryptocurrencies as well. So I left some of my money invested in them and thought I'd just hold on to them for the long run. Now, the reason I bring it up today is because once again, the price of Bitcoin is starting to see a steady increase. And it also looks like as though it could make its way back up to that 20K mark. So in today's video, I thought I would talk a little bit about Bitcoin and why I think it is valuable, and then look into the different ways in which you can invest into Bitcoin as well. So while the intro video plays, why not help me by heading down to that like button and making it change color so you can help the YouTube algorithm recommend this video to lots more people. Now, I'm no Bitcoin guru or anything, but I have scoured the internet for a few hours researching the topic. And what I've understood is that everything Bitcoin is fairly complicated. So whatever I say in this video is just my opinion on the topic, and I'm sure that there's lots of other takes on it. So I strongly urge you as well to go and do your own research after watching this video to understand for yourself how and whether you should invest into Bitcoin as well. So what actually is Bitcoin? Well, I guess let's have a little quick definition here. Now, Bitcoin is basically a computer file which is stored in a digital wallet, which you might have on a smartphone or a computer, or even maybe on a USB stick. And it was created to become a new payment system that would be completely digital, also making it the first decentralized peer-to-peer payment network. Which basically means that no centralized person, company, or country will own or dictate the value of the digital currency. Now, the whole idea of Bitcoin was to turn the banking industry upside down and provide a better way to transact online. And essentially, the concept came about because your traditional banks were not set up in the best possible way to work in an online environment. Also, many people have grown to distrust banks and the way in which they operate. Therefore, Bitcoin provided this decentralized method for users globally to be able to send and receive money online in a unique way that made every transaction publicly available, while also being highly secure and not divulging any user's personal information. So why should we invest in Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency that was ever launched. And just like any other new innovation, the first successful company is always the leader. And so the same applies here with Bitcoin, as over the last decade, it has seen a growth of 9 million%. Therefore, absolutely obliterating the likes of the stock market and investing in gold. However, the Bitcoin market is also very volatile, as it's had major rises and major falls. But in general, the value of Bitcoin has had a steady increase in value. Now, early investors easily became millionaires and some even billionaires, as Bitcoin had no value at the beginning. Now, currently, it's sitting at around $18,000. Now, if we look at the leading cryptocurrencies, we can see that Bitcoin is by far ahead of the rest in terms of market capitalization. So, what is actually driving the price of Bitcoin? Well, currently, there is about 18.5 million Bitcoins in existence, and there is a maximum number of 21 million Bitcoins that can ever be made. And due to the underlying technology that is used to make Bitcoins, it has been predicted that the last Bitcoin will be created in the year 2140. And so, of course, with anything that has a finite limit, the most valuable aspect is compared to supply and demand. Therefore, as there is a limited amount of Bitcoins that are available and that can be available ever, the value gets driven by the demand in which people want to use it. Which then brings us onto the question of mass adoption. Now, during 2020, large financial companies have been investing into Bitcoin, one of them being PayPal, who announced that they have integrated cryptocurrencies into its platform in October this year. Now, in the background, many other high street banks are in the works to integrate cryptocurrencies into their ecosystem. And the reason for this is because the world that we're living in right now continually becomes more and more digital. So the banks need to keep up with the demand of consumers wanting a more robust and efficient method of pushing their money around in the digital world. And in order to build and develop something from scratch themselves, will just set them back many years. So it makes sense for these banks to adopt cryptocurrencies which are all ready to use right now. However, just like anything that looks like it could have a significant monetary value, governments try to get involved and create regulations. So just like how regulations were put in place for gold many years ago, and so the same applies here for Bitcoin. When there is regulatory uncertainty, investors start to think about how will they get taxed for selling their investments in the future. And this can pretty much scare investors and drop the value of cryptocurrency. Now, that's exactly what happened in 2017 when South Korea decided to regulate crypto assets, and this caused a 15% drop in Bitcoin and also other major cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, Litecoin, and Ripple. But I guess the question is, what is going to happen to Bitcoin in 2021? Now, due to the fact that more and more companies and institutions are implementing Bitcoin, the general consumer consensus is beginning to change to a more positive outcome. As the adoption levels increase, customers will feel more comfortable using crypto. Because it's just like anything else in the world, everyone has fear of the unknown, especially when it's complicated to understand. Now, this was seen in exactly the same way when Apple and Android decided to bring out the method of using your mobile phone devices to make payments. At first, everyone was scared to use it because they didn't know how it worked. But then as time went on, people saw more people actually using the technology and then realized how easy it was to use, and therefore the adoption levels increased drastically. So I personally feel that PayPal have taken the step needed in order to make the adoption levels increase exponentially, and I'm hoping we see some significant increases in 2021. However, ultimately, this all comes down to speculation. Therefore, making Bitcoin still a very risky investment. And currently, it's almost certain that the price of Bitcoin is actually going to rally up to the 2017 highs. But then there's nothing to say that it will completely tank just like last time as well. But there is also a chance that it could rally up to highs more than what we saw in 2017 and then fall back to possibly a new normal, which will be slightly higher than what we had seen in the last 3 years. So as I feel that Bitcoin is such a risky investment, I don't want to put too much money into it, but I do want to buy some of it and hold for a long time period. But now the question is, how do you actually invest in Bitcoin? Well, there are many different ways, and I thought I'd show you really quickly 2 methods. And the first method is using the Trading 212 app. Now, I've talked about ETFs in the past and also indexes, and you can see a link to the video up there. But essentially, ETFs are exchange-traded funds, which allow you to buy and sell a basket of assets without having to buy all the components individually. And Trading 212 have now added an instrument called Bitcoin ETC, which is similar to an ETF. But rather than actually buying into the commodity itself, this allows investors to gain exposure to the commodity without buying future contracts or the physical commodity itself. Therefore, investors who are comfortable to invest in the stock market but are still a little bit apprehensive about buying Bitcoin directly or find it complicated to do so, this serves as a great alternative for someone to get their toes into the Bitcoin world. And if you haven't got a Trading 212 account yet, feel free to sign up using my referral link in the description down below, or go to www.saiganesh.co.uk/trading212, as you'll be able to get a free stock worth up to £100 when you deposit your first £1 into your account. I've also got a video up there about Trading 212. Now, the other way, and the way in which I have actually bought Bitcoin, is by using a platform called Coinbase. Now, Coinbase is fairly established as one of the leaders in the market, as it's been around for about 8 years now. And the reason why I like them is because they have made it really easy to be able to set up an account and buy and sell certain cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. I also preferred their UI to some of the others that are out there, as it seemed really easy and simple to use. They have also continually kept security at the highest level, making me feel quite comfortable to keep my money in the platform. So if you feel interested in setting up a Coinbase account to ride the waves of Bitcoin, feel free to use my referral link in the description down below, or go to www.saiganesh.co.uk/Coinbase, and you can get $10 absolutely free when you buy or sell $100 or more using Coinbase. So personally, I'm not heavily invested in Bitcoin, but I've invested a little bit of my portfolio into it, mainly due to FOMO, fear of missing out. But if Bitcoin smashes the ceiling again, I'm going to be kicking myself like I did with Tesla for not investing more money into it. But then again, if it takes a roller coaster ride and dips down to all-time lows again, I'm going to be quite happy I didn't put all my eggs in one Bitcoin basket. So that's it for me in today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on Bitcoin and any experiences that you might have had with investing in cryptocurrencies. So let me know in the comments down below. And just to remind you, I have no financial background whatsoever, and everything I mentioned in this video is just a way for me to let you know about the research that I've been doing on the topic of Bitcoin. Now, if you plan to invest in anything, I always recommend seeking professional financial advice. But also, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and make sure you click on that bell so you get notified when my next video comes out. And as always, remember to like the video, comment down below, and share with your friends and family. See you on the next video. Bye.